Hello friends, it's Stu from Flow State. I was talking to one of my delightful marketing friends the other day. We were chatting about dashboards. Marketers love dashboards, right? Numbers, charts, very exciting. But we got into a conversation about the deluge of SaaS everywhere and the fact that you really need to go beyond dashboards to effectively use them. And often people will just, subscribe to stuff, everyone gets excited, you've got a new toy, you pay a ton of money for it, and then it just sits there and nobody ever looks at it. We had a really interesting conversation about that and how you can sort of make them actually useful and what the challenges are around it. So if you want to know how to make them useful, you have to give me a shout because, that's the secret. But the challenges that came out were really interesting. In this conversation, we were talking about it and we were like, okay, great. Well, what is wrong with dashboards and the solutions, behind them? Three things came out of that conversation. The first is that when you subscribe to anything dashboardy or dashboard related, they're essentially making you do all the hard work because they present a ton of data, but they don't interpret that data, right? So then you have to do that. So they've done the easy part. They've just given you a ton of charts or whatever, but then you have to spend all your time working out what it means. That was one. I found that very interesting. The second was that you often get a lot of fluff metrics. I'm sure you know this, right? I've used a million different SaaS tools and built a ton of different dashboards and they haven't all been perfect. I know that's hard to believe. The key thing that you got to do, right, is like less is more. So we got chatting about, how it would be much more useful if you could just have like the 2 or 3 metrics that you really want to look at. All the other stuff's always there behind the scenes, but you don't need it shoved in your face all the time, right? It's just inessential or basically makes people concentrate on the wrong things. And the third thing that came out of the conversation, which I particularly liked, and is something I've been struggling with as we build our own dashboards here, is, building dashboards for different use cases. Often everything just gets mashed together. And if I'm a senior marketing person in a global business, I have a very different use case to like a senior sales leader who might want to see the same data, but they might want to see a completely different view of that information. They might be looking at different things. It's supporting different activities. What they want to have is completely different. But often what you find is you'll subscribe to something and it just has, everything's like smashed in there. You've got like, here's everything we could find. It's just all in this big thing. So you work it out. So I found that particularly interesting. And it's something that's been playing on my mind recently as we are launching new versions of our own fancy dashboard products, which are coming out next year. If you'd like to hear about those, just drop me a note. I can add you to the pre-release list. If you've seen similar things, I'd love to hear about your own challenges with running SaaS. Obviously, a lot of it's under the chopping block for next year, right? Probably reviewing your budgets and thinking, how much of our subscriptions gone up in 2022? If you are doing that stuff, I'd love to get your feedback, hear your thoughts as usual. Drop me a note, visit the site, chat to the team. Hopefully hear from you soon.